Congratulations! You have my top 75 US cities with the highest profitability for short-term rental investing. It will be in your email inbox in just a few short minutes. Now, your next step is to watch this quick 10-minute or so video so that I can show you exactly how to use 75 gems to secure your first or next vacation rental in the next 90 days. So whether you're a pharmacist, a physician, a nurse manager, respiratory therapist, or even a real estate investor looking to reposition your portfolio, I know that I've got something for you, especially if you're looking to exchange your properties into short-term rental investing and stop exchanging your hours for dollars. So now is the perfect time to launch your first or next short-term rental, and I want to help you finally get it launched so that you can regain full control of your life and future so that you can work on your own terms. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to go off camera real quick and show you step by step on where to go from here.
Let's talk about getting started with Airbnb investing, luxury short-term rentals, your top 75 US cities with the highest profitability for short-term rental investing. When it comes to understanding your numbers with short-term rental Airbnb investing, one of my free go-to tools is AirDNA. To access the AirDNA Rentalizer, just go to Google and search for AirDNA Rentalizer, spelled like so. And what you're looking for is the AirDNA Market Minder, and just leverage the free version for now. So I start off with the freemium version, and I only upgrade when I am looking to place a property under contract to really do a deeper analysis. So this bluish purple hue branding is what you're looking for. There are going to be a lot of imposters out there. I don't want you to get sucked into that. So definitely look at this AirDNA Market Minder, this bluish purple hue branding. Next, you're going to enter the address of any property that you would consider for a short-term rental. Enter the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, and number of guests that you think it can accommodate. My rule of thumb is 3 or 4 guests per bathroom. Once the results are produced, you will have your annual revenue rate, average daily rate, and your occupancy rate. The occupancy rate is my go-to when it comes to identifying a market that is viable for short-term rental. Anything lower than 50% is a non-starter for me. My rule of thumb is greater than 50 cents, greater than 50% is definitely a market that I would be interested in. So try this at home whenever you are looking to break into a new short-term rental market. And you, my friend, have your first stab at how to find where to invest in short-term rentals. All right, so I just want to take 2 minutes to introduce myself. If we haven't yet met, this is my husband, Jesse. He's a newly retired psychotherapist. He worked with at-risk youth at the Atlanta Public School System. This is my family, my boys, oh my goodness, and our pups, Peggy, Dash, and Hopper. They're a hot mess. I'm a pharmacist by training, and if you look closely, yes, this is us at the Netflix studios in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and this is the Netflix film crew filming at one of our luxury short-term rentals. But it wasn't that long ago that I was the baby pharmacist on that struggle bus, like many of you. I was born in Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, raised in the inner city of Miami. I worked hard, got that doctorate, yay! But financial literacy was not part of that education. And oh my goodness, I walked away from graduate school with nearly $500,000 in student loans. So we worked overnights, picked up multiple shifts, moonlit. At one point, we had 5 jobs between the two of us, but we are super grateful. We found our way through that and launched our first luxury short-term rental back in 2019, which completely changed the trajectory of our lives. So getting to the other side of those 5 jobs, I saw this quote by Warren Buffett, and it really hit home. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Oh my goodness, grim, I know. But fast forward now I've had the great pleasure of being invited to many platforms to speak on podcasts, such as Rich Dad Poor Dad's co-author Sharon Lechter and her Women's Investing Network, Amy Porterfield's Online Marketing Made Easy, and over 30 other podcasts have keynoted for Keller Williams, medical conferences, investor conferences, invited to platforms such as Bigger Pockets, Pharmacy Times, Rent Ready, had the great pleasure of hosting different summits and mastermind groups to deliver exclusive master classes to Go Abundance and co-authored bestseller. Can't wait to share more about the TED Talk that's coming up. But here's what I really want you to know. I am going to teach you today the 4 insider tips to create a lucrative luxury short-term rental portfolio. And the reason for this is because I have launched and managed over 22 luxury properties, host over 3,000 guests with reviews averaging 5 stars, generated over $3 million in revenue since 2019. For the properties we've owned and managed for investors. So when it comes to creating and launching a luxury short-term rental, I know what works and I know what doesn't. And that's why I'm excited to teach you today. 92% of my revenue comes from my short-term rentals. I say no to the projects that drain me and yes to the projects that light me up. Can you even imagine what it would feel like to say yes to the projects that truly light you up? Well, contrary to popular belief, you only need 1 to 2 top performing properties to be insanely profitable. So my strategy is, how do I own and operate the fewest number of properties that generates the highest profitability? And this strategy really came from getting really clear and focused on what I really want out of life. So as a doctor mom with 2 boys, a whole husband, 3 dogs, I needed to not buy a whole other job, all right? So this is what I teach members in our community, how to self-manage your luxury short-term rental portfolio in less than 3 hours per week, because this is the secret to buying back your free time and living the life of your dreams. This is a portfolio of our 10 properties in the Northeast that generated multiple 6 figures just in 1 month. This is definitely not an anomaly. We have members within our community who have done the same. Purchase price range anywhere from $175,000 to $460,000. So you do not have to purchase $1 million homes to generate this type of revenue. Alex Sabio from our community, he is a respiratory therapist. In just 1 month, 2 of his rentals generated over $50,000, just 2 of them. So another strategy that we look at and we leverage is our midterm rental strategies. And our midterm rental strategies are where we're able to host a variety of guests, such as guests who are displaced from their homes due to insurance issues. And so for those of you who may have faced regulatory restraints where you have to host guests for 30 nights or longer, the midterm rental strategy is definitely the way to go. And it's also another time-saving strategy. You buy back your time with this guest avatar as well. When it comes to leveraging a short-term rental, understand the ordinances and the regulations. And this is the workflow that we use within our program to identify what those regulations are and whether or not we can move forward or we should hold off. Now let's dive into the 4 insider tips. The old adage still holds true: location, location, location. This is the #1 insider tip to consider, and 75 gems will definitely get you that kickstart. We'll dive into that really soon. The next insider tip is, how much does it really cost to get started? You want to count your costs before you move forward. Next insider tip is, can I really host remotely? For some of you, it's a very important question, because if you're in a market where there are regulatory restraints or financial constraints, such as a higher cost of labor area, it is very important to understand how to host remotely. And it is very possible. More than 50% of our portfolio is out of state, and more than 70% of our students are hosting their properties remotely. And insider tip number 4 is understanding your guest avatar. Who is that perfect guest that you want to serve? Because what this will do is inform your investment strategy, inform how you acquire your property, the types of properties that you will even consider and select. All right, so let's take it from Dr. Katie, one of my star students, pharmacist, mom of 3 kids under 5. She wanted to come back on her hours in the pharmacy. She came to me when she realized her long-term rental portfolio was not generating much revenue by the end of the year. After paying for a leaked water heater repair and having to deal with tenants with missed payments, that was the cherry on top. So we leveraged 75 Gems report. We analyzed a dozen properties. Katie was able to dive into my Rolodex of realtors and lenders, and now she has 2 beautiful brand new short-term rental bills, Morning Primrose and Chalet Noir. These 2 short-term rentals outperformed her long-term rental by 6 to 9x monthly. So there is no going back for Dr. Katie. Next, we have Ramya. Ramya is a healthcare IT professional who also recognized that long-term rentals were not as profitable as she had hoped. All of that work, right? And so she has launched her first short-term rental, and she is repositioning her portfolio to purchase her next. And she was able to leverage one of our 9 resources within the community, our interior designer, who is a specialist that designs for HTV and has also designed for my personal properties. And last but not least, I wanted to welcome Flirty Flamingo. Flirty Flamingo is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom condo in beautiful Florida, Miramar Beach, Florida. Doctors Tim and Carolyn from Texas has launched this impeccable property, and I want to deep dive into it a little bit more in a bit, okay? All right, so now let's tap into 75 Gems. Your resource is here, guys. So once you get 75 Gems in your email, go ahead and open up that link. You will want to go to File and then make a copy. Again, go to File and then make a copy. Do not request access. That is what you will first see is your instructions. Now, when you click on the next tab, the top cities, that is where your resource is located. Okay, so once you click the next tab, the Google Sheet is divided into 3 sections. The greenish color has your large markets, and large markets are markets that contain 1,000 plus active STR listings. California is a large market. We got Las Vegas, Nevada. Look at this, Kissimmee, Florida. Oh my goodness. Gulf Shores, Alabama. Now let's scroll down a little bit further to your medium market. Your medium markets contain 100 to 999 active listings. And then your small market, scroll down further, less than 100 listings are your small market. So there are definitely advantages and disadvantages to each market size. And so, of course, the small markets, you're not going to have a ton of competition. So you have the opportunity to get bookings without having to put in a whole lot of work, right? But the biggest disadvantage with the smaller markets is that they may not be very well established. The regulations are going through some severe changes that will impact those markets. Those lawmakers in those markets are looking to collect their transient occupancy taxes, so they want to set up their regulations to do so. Now, large markets, the disadvantage is over 1,000 listings, meaning that competition is steep. You do have to make sure that you are standing out from the crowd, but the advantage is that these markets are well established. So a lot of times the regulations are well established. You can identify exactly where you can operate and where you cannot. I personally at least steer towards the medium markets. I often find great deals right in the middle. However, if there's a good deal in a small market or a large market, as long as I do my due diligence, I am definitely game and open to looking into it. Here's one thing I did want to highlight for you is that the first column here is clickable. So for instance, if you hover over and you look at Lebanon, Minnesota, and click that city, you will be directed to this AirDNA report for Lebanon, Minnesota. All right, so you're welcome. Just wanted to make it as easy for you as possible. So in reviewing the anatomy of this sheet, you will have the ability to hover over a few of these tabs with the little comment, hover to discover, so to speak. Okay, so the first column again is your city. The second is your state. The third is the active number of listings, which corresponds with the final column, small, medium, or large. Next is your revenue potential. The home values is your next column. Your gross ROI is your next column. So for me, anything above a 20% gross ROI is a great place to start. Next is your rental demand, rental growth, investability. I don't look into investability too much because it's taking into consideration some information that we do not necessarily need. It takes into consideration the home values for an entire market, Zillow home values, but that is not going to be representative of the STR home values. So I do not put much stock in investability score, okay? Keep that in mind. When you're looking at your revenue and your home values, this is how you determine your gross ROI. If I'm projecting a revenue of $79K annually for a property in Harpers Ferry, and the home values are $308,000 for the STR homes that are performing, that's about a 26%. I understand them not only for the properties that are on this sheet, but properties that I'm looking for or markets that I'm looking for that are not necessarily on this sheet. This is not the end all be all. It is just one of the tools that we use. Although I do like the properties that, for instance, any report tells me that it will generate 20% or higher, I will tell you that we use 8 strategies within our program that can generate significantly more gross ROI. We have strategies within our program that help us generate over 80% ROI. And I want to share 3 of the 5 STR wealth building strategies with you that has helped my husband and I retire in our 40s and help my students purchase over $1 million in real estate, some of which have cut back on their 9 to 5. So the first strategy is advanced tax strategies, bonus depreciation, cost segregation, 1031 exchanges, tax hacks really juice up your ROI. The second strategy is our pricing optimization and occupancy optimization strategies. We look at this very closely. We understand our KPIs. We actually have additional coaches within our program that are licensed revenue managers, one of which is Cornell trained, that helps us to continue to optimize for all the members of our community. And our third strategy that helps really amplify our short-term rental cash flow are passive upsell revenue streams. We're not leaving any money on the table, guys. You got to squeeze the juice out of each property because remember, we are looking to own and operate the fewest number of properties that generates the highest profitability. Next, I want to share with you Dr. Dada's property, the Red Fox Lodge. She wanted to learn where she was not going to be wasting her clock hunting and pecking for information. She needed something that was comprehensive in getting her first short-term rental before the December 31st deadline last year. So she joined our program, leveraged our resources. She launched her property, met material participation, she got significant tax savings. We launched her team, and here you see her average daily rate in July, $11.25 per night, and she herself hasn't visited the property since February. This is what we do. This is what we love to see. Again, that time freedom is so precious and so important. Just wanted to Highlight again one of our coaches, our interior design coach, that typically costs somewhere around $30K to come into your property. She is a part of our program for the price of admission into the program, which is amazing. Our next student highlight, remember Flirty Flamingo? I wanted to share with you Doctors Tim and Carolyn's story. Pharmacists, they were working their finger to the bone around the clock. They even gave birth to baby Chloe in the midst of a launch, okay? They're from Texas, the property's in Florida. They wanted to do a major renovation to get it up and running. Again, our resident designer took a look at the property and advised them against it. She then proceeded to create their mood board based on their vision and help them sprint launch Flirty Flamingo, beautiful 1-bedroom, 1-bath within weeks of closing. So within hours of launching, the bookings started to roll in. In about a week and a half, they've already had $8,000 worth of booking. And now they are leveraging the long-term rental that they have in a suburban area in Texas to midterm rental insurance strategy. So we spoke a little bit about Ramya a little early. I did want to give you a quick highlight. So she leveraged our team while she was overseas. She purchased the property sight and scene. Our team ordered all of the furnishings and the supplies, placed them in the truck, drove to the property, installed it all. Within 3 months, Ramya was super host before setting foot on her property. Another star student, we have Megan. Megan's in Texas. She has 2 properties that are homes in suburban areas where she is hosting insurance guests, midterm rental strategy, insurance guests for this busy trainer at a major healthcare insurance PBM. So another star student. Oh my goodness, if I can tell you the resiliency of Dr. Heather Clemens. Dr. Heather leveraged 75 gyms and tapped into our Rolodex, used the resources to get her going. And she was able to launch her Panama City Beach townhouse, which was a dream for her because she thought she was not going to be able to pull it off without the help of family and siblings. You know, those student loans could really be daunting, but she was able to do it on her own. So super excited for her. So wanted to share with you a few more student wins. We have Chris, who is under contract here. Beach House build. She was able to get a property locked and loaded. Deanna, she's a realtor whose offer got accepted. And just last week, she closed on her property. Ski House is ours. Now, this is a resource that we use out of Atlanta who is looking for temporary housing for a monthly rate of up to $50K per month. I mean, seriously. So the film industry is really hot in the Atlanta area. This is a payout for one of our community members for an insurance guest. This is Dr. Heather Clemens, just really celebrating here. We celebrate with our community guys, another insurance payout, and just super excited. So now let me tell you a little bit about Annette's story. So Annette thought that doing short-term rental ownership style was going to be outside of the realm of possibility for her. She was focused on the arbitrage method. Annette is a retired nurse manager. She walked away from nursing due to burnout. She wanted to regain control of her life, wanted to live life on her own terms, but her biggest limiting belief was her budget. So she went into arbitrage, wanted to expand that. And once she joined our program, she already had her arbitrage units, which is a rent for rent model. But once she joined our program, she was able to complete the hidden money activity. She pulled up my Rolodex of resources and she was able to leverage our lending partners. She found her hidden money. She leveraged our lending partners. And guess what? From arbitrage to she is building a house on the beach. She has closed on the lot. They have broken ground. And whenever I talk to her, she says, pinch me, I must be dreaming. Her family is so proud of her. They are looking forward to a crawfish boil on the patio. And guys, this is what I want for you. I want you to stop exchanging the precious hours of your life for a paycheck. I was there before, so I get it. But I want you to get closer and closer to that financial freedom that's going to give you that life that you love. So there's like two different types of people that just want to take the 75 gem spreadsheet, run with it, and do it on their own. And if that's you, kudos to you. There is a lot of support in our Facebook group. We update this list quarterly, so stay plugged into the Facebook group so you can get an alert on this update. But there's a whole lot of others, people who want to move forward. They know that if they just try to do it on their own, they're going to leave it on the back burner as usual. So they want that accountability. They want to get something done in the next 90 days, and they want that direct access to me, my resources, our members that are winning, and my team. So if that's you, I want you to click the link below and jump on our calendar. Let's get on a quick call and chat to see if we can help you get your home secured in the next 90 days to 6 months. It is an application process. Our members within the community are high-level, like-minded investors, and they get exclusive access to my world-class network. So we're super protective of our community. So if you're a busy professional or a real estate investor looking to launch your first or next short-term rental, or if you're looking to optimize your current listing, I can show you exactly how to do this. Go ahead and apply today. Click the link below. And if you're not qualified, the worst that can happen is we're going to hook you up with amazing resources. So there's no risk to connect. There's no risk to click that link and apply. Go ahead and apply today. Click the link below and apply.